27. Roll call.
Christine Thibodeau, Shannon Lugden, Joe Bazin,
Here.
Donna Pelletier,
Here.
Tanya Bazin,
Here.
Toby Jandro,
Here.
Rory Collins,
Here.
and our student reps are not here.
Any adjustments to the agenda?
I have no adjustments.
Cool. Period of public participation on items in this agenda. Is there anybody who came out tonight who wanted to be heard on anything on the agenda? Nope.
I'll make a. I'll second.
We have a presentation. I'll let you
Have approval of financials
Oh,
first.
sorry. Approval of financial statements. I'll accept a motion to approve the September financial statement.
So move.
Thank you, Donna.
I'll make a second.
Thank you. All those in favor? It's unanimous. Now,
And I am taking minutes tonight because Lucy's not here, so if I'm a little bit slower, I apologize. We have Monsieur Robert Beg, who is here tonight, and he's here to talk to you about the current exchange that just started this weekend, and also about the return exchange that's going to be happening with your approval April 2 to April 14. Monsieur Day.
Thank you for your time. So, I don't know, Tanya and Ben, how much you know about the exchange. I know Donna knows quite a bit about it. Rosemary, do you know much about it?
No.
So I'll give a brief history. In April of 2011, I applied to be partnered with a school in France through the Maine Department of Education. In December of that year, they partnered us up with Cholet in Maine-et-Loire. It's the name of the department in France. So we began exchanging written correspondence, audio recordings, video projects, and we would video conference with them about every other month. And so in June of 2012, after a video conference session in the morning, I got back to my afternoon class, and I had students who were desperately interested in, they're like, it's fun video conferencing, but it would be so much more fun to see these people in person. So it was students who initiated the desire to do the travel exchange, and that we now have. So since 2013, we have hosted 11 groups of students from France, and I've taken 8 groups of students from Fort Kent to France. So we survived COVID. We're strong, and we're at a point where I'm not able to satisfy the numbers needed for us to travel every year. So we're trying to keep the exchange alive by doing an every other year thing. So the next time I would ask for your approval would be in 2028. Yes, we have 10 students who arrived at the Quebec airport on Saturday, and they're all housed in host families. Tobias is one of the host families. My daughter is another one. Liam is yet another one. These are my colleagues from France. The advantage that it brings to our school, for the next 2 weeks, our students at the high school, every student enrolled in French at the high school will have speaking practice in French with these native textbooks, living, breathing textbooks, I like to call them. The French students are preparing, they're here to practice their English, so they're in the process of preparing presentations for the 9th grade, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade classes that they'll be presenting to the students, just bringing their culture. And then the flip side of this is, after we've hosted them for 2 weeks, we travel to France in the spring with your permission. And the the students are able to, you know, see the day-to-day life of a teenager in France. They attend school with them, see what that's like. Many of them have to use public transportation to get to school because they live in a different world. They live in a city. And I remember myself when I was a student at Université Laval, being from a farm here in Fort Kent, I had zero idea how to use a bus. It took me 3 weeks before I had the courage to leave the campus to go into this city, and it's fortunately I had a city friend who, you know, helped me. So it's really nice to provide our students exposure to that. They travel on a high-speed train, and at the end of the trip, the plan is to spend 2 days in Paris with the opportunity to visit the Louvre, the world's most visited museum, the Musée d'Orsay. They climb to the top of the Eiffel Tower. This year we're planning to go to the top of l'Arc de Triomphe. It's just a wonderful, wonderful cultural experience for them. So would very much appreciate it if you would continue to give us your backing. I can mention that Donna was my chaperone in 2014. If you have questions, you can address them to her. She has lived it firsthand. And that's another thing is, you know, not only have our students benefited from this, but there's a lot of adults in our community who have benefited from the exchange. So, yeah, I'm open to any questions if you have any.
I'll speak on your behalf. The kids come back and they're immersed in the French language and the French culture, and when they come back, they can actually speak. Their proficiency in French is magnified. It's unbelievable. So yeah, that's a really good program. It doesn't really, and you already fund. You have a grant, correct? So as far as costs, there's no impact. So that's another thing that I want to make clear. The only thing is there any way at some point, like later on, in planning later on, and I know it might be with Cholet, is that having it closer to fit like April break, or like overlapping like a little bit of April break, because being a former teacher, it's hard because those kids are out of your class for almost 2 weeks, and they're trying. I mean, and it's an intense program in France, but at the same time, they're also trying to keep up with their studies here. So it can be kind of challenging sometimes. So my advice, if it works out with their schedule, that you could schedule it closer to April break and maybe overlap part of it with April break.
Whenever I can, I schedule it during April vacation. But in France, they have 2 weeks of vacation at a time, and like the country is divided into 3 regions. So it rotates. So one region will be on vacation for like weeks 2 and 3 of April. Another region will be on vacation for 3 and 4, and then another region will be on vacation week 4 of April and week 1 of May. So when they are there, week 4 of April and week 1 of May, on those years, I travel during our April vacation.
It just didn't work out this year.
Whenever I can, I do. Yeah. I
just being as a former teacher, it
yes.
impacts your class big time.
Yeah, I do. We do work into the schedule, like so. The past few exchanges, we schedule time at the high school for our students to be working on their homework back here. So we're providing them 2 hours a day. It's not the full day, but they have a 2-hour chunk of time where they can be communicating with their teachers. We provide the same thing for the students from France while they're here. So we are really trying to keep the exchange going for the cultural and educational benefits that it provides, but being aware that, yeah, there are other needs in other classes.
But no, the cultural experiences, you can't measure it.
Can I just add on? So I did the French exchange last year, and just the perspective from a student-wise is just, it's amazing the knowledge you get from just someone, total different world. And it's just really just, it can change your life, really. I mean, if you think about it, you can go on to France too, once in a lifetime opportunity. Just Paris is just like an amazing city that everyone just dreams to see, right? And this is, to keep this going, would just be amazing for the students in the future. And I wish everything for them.
Absolutely.
Any more questions, comments? Thank you for everything you do.
Yes,
You're welcome.
absolutely.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the French Exchange 2026 travel plans.
So moved.
And I'll second.
Thank you.
In your packet, you should have the 2024-25 annual report. It's the same format that we've been following the past few years. Lead it off with a letter. But in addition to that, we have our mission, our vision statement, has the information on all of you as our board of directors. But specifically, it has the budget information, school year information, student enrollment, daily average attendance report, student truancy report, dropout report, special education information, graduating class information, early college information, and staff information. And then we end it with some staff and student highlights. I send out a survey to staff and, hey, what went well this year, or what do you want to shout out about? And some staff, send that information. This is actually the DOE requires that we have a format for reporting annually to the commissioner, and this would be our format on all of the. So this will be published on the SAD 27 website for public to access. It's all information that is valid. One thing that we're a year ahead of what we usually are in this report is I don't usually have the assessment data that is accurate with last spring's assessment, and because we are so late doing this report this year with the budget only being approved a few weeks ago, we actually have last spring's data. So next month I hope to bring some data information to you specific to that, but I have just the highlighted data of the district-wide ELA and mathematics. But everything else is part of the snapshot from last year.
So the data analysis, that's K through 12.
Yeah. Yeah, that's district data.
That's the district.
Yeah, but we'll break it down into middle, high school, elementary.
Because I was concerned about the math.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it. Any questions on the report? Moving on from then, just to update you on the incident that happened last week. I've only gotten 2 calls in my life that the school is on fire. And the first time that I got that call was at Dr. Levac, and it did not end up well. So when I got a second call from Mr. Anderson that we had a fire, my anxiety level rose quite a bit. Luckily, it was very minimal. The staff did exactly what they were supposed to. As I mentioned in my email report to you, staff member flicked on an old venting fan. It shorted out, which is not uncommon. Mr. Tom, if you ask him, that happens all the time. Well, when it causes smoke and it causes, the fire alarms to go off, we want to make sure that we're doing things right. Students were excellent, evacuated exactly like we practice. Mr. Ricky rounded up the buses. We had the buses come over in no time, boarded the students on the buses just because it was a little chilly. Responders came in. I think PD was first on the scene with a fire extinguisher, and then the police department came in as well. And they did not clear the building until they visited every classroom, lifted ceiling tiles in every classroom, and made sure that everything was safe. Because of the nature of the fire, it being just an old mortar, they were confident that it was isolated to that. We even had some of the custodial crew on the roof making sure that it had not crept up somewhere. So everything was good. We've shut off a few breakers since then so that other old fans might not get tripped. And I believe Mr. Tom was looking at a plan to either replace or totally disconnect some of those older fans. Did I miss anything, Mr. Anderson, Ms. Mona? It was we were able to conduct another drill that was more realistic and included in a bus evacuation component to it, which is something that we need to practice anyway, and we did quite well with that. Any questions on that? And first, of course, I rushed over here. I didn't even have my phone, and I looked at Kevin at one point and said, I've got to notify the parents because there's fire trucks in front of the school. So I quickly went back to the office and we made the all call just to kind of get everyone on the same page, and then did a recall after that when everything was clear. So hopefully that information went out and was clear to the families. Questions on that? Other than that, you have administrator reports. You have Mr. Dachenard, Ms. Mona Martin, Mitch Daigle, and Stacy Sear, and they are here if you have questions about their reports.
Just very ironic that you guys had a school safety week, just like the week prior to. And then this all happened. I was like, well, couldn't have been better, better timing, I guess. And if anyone has not gone to see the play yet, The Nightmare Before Christmas, we went yesterday, and it is amazing. Go see it. It's very, very, very well. Whoever plays Jack, I didn't catch the name, but whoever plays Jack Skellington sounds just like the movie. It's incredible.
That's Troy Chellick.
Okay, well, he's
one of
like
my ninth graders.
incredible.
Mr. Chenard, you asked a question, and yes, when we make our calendar, if you want to remind us then, I think we can factor that in.
I've got it written down, but I had more than several teachers coming in Friday saying, I've got 3 or 4 kids in my classroom, I've got a lesson plan, but the other 15 are gone. So it's really some instruction and time that I think we could
What was the
better
question?
use of. One of them suggested maybe using an early release day. That doesn't bode well when you're hunting, but
Maybe a late start day?
yeah, we've tried those before too. But any suggestions, any thinking you want to do between now and the time that we develop that calendar for next year? Youth Day is a popular day, and a single person batched Youth Day would be important, but they're really worried about the teaching time.
So the question asked was that there was a large number of CHS students missing for Youth Hunting Day.
Oh.
And Mr. Chenard asked if there's something we can do about that in the future. And I think when we build our calendar, it's something we could consider then.
Yeah, so Youth Hunting Day used to be a day, and it used to be on a Saturday. A few years ago, they expanded to Friday, Saturday. After the first year, we saw the same thing. I actually wrote a letter to the commissioner of inland fisheries and wildlife, and tried to press upon the importance of education, although we understand that's an education as well, and I suggested at the time they consider a Saturday, Sunday hunt, and that went nowhere, so that's how much pull I have. But absolutely, we should look at the calendar and see how creative we can get with.
Could we just make it a full workshop day?
We can look at everything.
Yeah.
All of the above.
I'm just wondering on behalf of my French students who are very jet lagged, if we could exit by
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's very late for them. Thank you so much.
All right, any other questions, comments on administrator reports? Seeing none, we can move on to committee reports.
So this is the second read of that whole slate of policies that were presented to you last meeting. Many of them are in the E section, which is dealing with our school buildings and our emergency services. And then we do have a few others in the G section and J section and one in the K section. I've sent those to you electronically. If you have any questions or any comments, we'll take them at this time. But this would be your second read.
These are the ones you met with Rory, I know.
They don't have them here. They're all.
Is there any discussion on any of those policies? Okay, seeing none, I'll accept the motion to approve the second read and adopt policies EBAA, EBBD, EBCB, EBCD, EEA, GBO, GCI, JEA, JICJ, and KI. Thanks, Rory. I'm not going to read them again. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Items of business.
Item of business, we have no retirements. We do have a resignation. You have a resignation letter there from fifth grade teacher, Mr. John Edwards, who is letting us know. So his plans are to remain with us until February 13. At that time, he will be heading back. Mr. Anderson and I have talked about it, and we feel that it would be best to find a long-term sub to finish out the balance of the year. We'll hopefully try to convince maybe a retired teacher or somebody with experience at that level, but we have some time to really focus our attention on it.
I'll entertain a motion to approve John Edwards' resignation. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Joe. Any discussion? Unanimous?
We have no transfers. We do have a new hire. You have a letter from sending Kara Panett for the special education technician one-on-one position at Fort Kent Elementary School.
I will support position.
Main School Revolving Renovation Fund. So this is that provides low or no interest loans with partial loan forgiveness to school districts for the priority health, safety, and compliance component that we really underground storage tank project, because that is a costly project, and that's something that we would definitely benefit from getting approved from these.
Is there
No.
We want to change it to something that's going to be safe.
Yeah, because that floods every year, right? Like there's water every year.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the SRRF applications from MSAD 27.
So moved.
Thank you.
And I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
And I will need your signature, Toby, on all 9 applications.
You're going to be talking about rebranding, so
I
I'll do that
am.
while you do that.
So I have in your packet a rebranding campaign idea for the school district. I pitched this to the administrative team, and we've had some talks about it. And this really comes in light of this year. I really think that although we do a good job trying to get who we are out there to the public, we're missing something somewhere. And I think where we highlight very well with athletics and maybe some special events, what we miss on is the day-to-day. What do we do every day in our schools that is really making a difference in our communities, making a difference for our students. So this is a We Are Warriors campaign where we're basically trying to get the message of who we are out there in a variety of different ways. This is not just a social media thing. We should be going print, we should be going a variety of different ways where we're trying to reach people, but really sharing the thought about this. And after they bring in, you know, family members to cheer them on and that type of thing. And so they do different little things like that that really just, it's not a big change, but it's just moving things in a little bit direction where you're really just celebrating what it is to be a Fort Kent Warrior, or a cricket, depending on where you are. So we really hope that this is something that you can get behind. The reason why we're just not rolling with it and we want board approval is because we may be coming to you or maybe making some requests that are a little bit different than the past, where we may want to buy merch for staff. We may want to buy banners for businesses. We may want to, you know, we may want to approach the Fort Kent Town Council or one of the town councils with, you know, a mural in the town about who we are. So these are all ideas that we're currently generating, but we want to start as soon as possible and get rolling with it so that, like I said, we can get. Be a warrior. What is it? You know, these some different ads on WAGM, wherever we can get the message out. I think we should be.
I think that have been helpful before the first budget.
Yeah.
Everyone is an expert in school because everyone went. Once upon a time, 20, 30, 40 years ago, you went to school. School today, or any, most, you know, community members, we
And so it really kept the parents.
It's hard to.
Of Grandparents' Day.